So we want to, as I was saying, we want to welcome everyone here today to our Sunday program of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram. All our okay, our guests and also our, viewers from the streaming video. So this is, as I was saying, 1st of April. So, Easter Sunday. And so our devotees are coming back from Navadip, from India. Some of them have returned, like Ramachandra Prabhu and his wife, Krishna Mohini, and other devotees also, Divya Shakti. So they're coming back from the Gaur Purnima festival. And this is what you've been mentioning, is how we're trying to create that feeling, consciousness here in the West, that when people go to India for Gaur Purnima, it's officially listed as a week-long festival. It starts on the Adibas, which is one day before the Ekadasi day, and then the parikramas, or each day they're walking on parikramas, going to all the different holy places of Mahaprabhu's divine Leela there in the 9 islands of Navadip. Of course, they're spiritual islands. They're visiting those places for 4 days, and then comes Gaur Purnima, and then sometimes some of the devotees are staying for 5 days after Gaur Purnima, which is Pancham Dol, and they're going to Hapaniyadam. So it's 7 days up to the day after Gaur Purnima, which is the Jagannath Mishra Mahotsav, because the day of Gaur Purnima we're waiting for Mahaprabhu to appear. He appears in the evening. The devotees are lightly fasting on that day, and then they're taking some anukalpa, which means some Ekadasi preparations in the evening, and then the day after Gaur Purnima is the full feast in honor of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But actually the festival, as I was saying, it extends afterwards to Pancham Dol, to the Hapaniya festival at the appearance place of Son. Oh, what? Son.
We just went over the wires and things.
I think there's just a short, Well, Dol Yatra is in Bengal, that's what they call Holi. And Holi is when they're from Radha Krishna Leela, where they're throwing colors. And sometimes you see that online, they're throwing different colors. You see old painted pictures of Radha and Krishna. They're with their Krishnas, with the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan, and they're spraying each other with it looks like almost like a little slide, kind of a pump or syringe, and there's colored water coming out of that, and they're spraying each other with that water. And now in all over India they celebrate Holi, and people throw colors and everything like that. So you could say it's a very colorful festival.
Right here in Santa Cruz.
What?
Right here in Santa Cruz, they did it down at the park.
Yeah. So, that's going on, and that's called Dol Yatra. And in some places, the Dol festival lasts several days. So they have Pancham Dol, they go to Hapaniya. Dasham Dol, they would go to Bamanpar. But those are different festivals. And actually, before Gaur Purnima, we mentioned the Adibasa, the festival, but actually many devotees are coming to Navadip for the festival of the appearance of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, which is Nityananda Trayodasi. They go there and they go to Ekachakra. They visit there. And then there's a festival of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his appearance. And that's very important for us because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the founder of all the Sri Chaitanya Mats and Sri Gaudiya Mats and like that. He's the originator. And as I said, on the first day of Gaur Purnima, we go to Mayapur, and there's so many temples there, and they're all principally from disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and those temples have been. So actually our mission is all founded upon or predicated upon the vision of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Of course, he's not singular in that respect. Well, he is singular for us, but he's also the son of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he's inheriting the vision of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and continuing the work of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And therefore, Srila Govinda Maharaj is called Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He's called him Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he's of such important stature in our mission. And of course, we're familiar with two of his prominent disciples and followers, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So those are the two persons that we are familiar with. We personally didn't. Srila Govinda Maharaj said, I didn't personally know Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Govinda Maharaj appeared maybe 7 years or so before the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he's a very young boy at that time when Srila Saraswati Thakur left. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj said it was as if Srila Govinda Maharaj had known and had been trained by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because so many of Srila Saraswati Thakur's disciples came to visit Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj at the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, and they all knew of the great affection that Srila Sridhar Maharaj had for Govinda Maharaj, and they all gave some shelter to Srila Govinda Maharaj, and they also helped him and gave him some guidance. And so you can say by their presence and by their visiting, by them associating with Srila Govinda Maharaj, by them sometimes instructing Srila Govinda Maharaj, it was as if that Srila Govinda Maharaj had been also trained by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And what Srila Saraswati Thakur gave and what Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given, and Srila Govinda Maharaj, and we feel also Srila Prabhupada, is the Rupanuga line, the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. But Srila Saraswati Thakur's special presentation of Krishna consciousness is called Paramahamsa Dharma. He's presenting the vision of the Paramahamsas, of the exalted personalities. Now, you could say one thing is about a Hamsa. Hamsa is a swan, and they say the Hamsa, or the Rajhamsa, has the ability to separate milk from water. Can do that. So we can say the Paramahamsa has the quality that he can, his vision is of divinity. And he is not, and it is not obscured by living in this mundane world. So that is, we can understand that is something of Paramahamsa Dharma. In any event, we're trying to represent something of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, and we have spent many years with Srila Govinda Maharaj and feel that Srila Govinda Maharaj is a source of inspiration for the devotees of this mission. We've had his divine association. We could be with him. We could associate with him. And he many times came to visit us. And so that is the inspiration that we've all felt. And now that Srila Govinda Maharaj is gone, I can say, because recently, just a few days ago, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days ago, we're honoring Srila Govinda Maharaj's disappearance. But I can say that I don't really, in one sense, I don't feel that Srila Govinda Maharaj has disappeared, because we're with him for so long, I can feel his presence everywhere. And I'm not saying that as an exaggeration. I'm just like, when I feel like Srila Govinda Maharaj is observing or watching me, and I have that feeling, and I feel it's a protective watch, like a guardian, and he's watching over me, and I feel protected by him. And also when I'm going somewhere, like if I'm going to India, if I'm going to Calcutta, if I'm going to Navadip, I still feel I'm going under Srila Govinda Maharaj's guidance, that he has in the past told me, you go here at this time, you go to Kolkata. I would go to Kolkata and I visit Srila Govinda Maharaj, and then he would send me to Navadip. Sometimes Govinda Maharaj, especially in his later years, he was not well enough to travel, and he'd stay in Kolkata, but he would send us to Navadip to engage in the festival, to lead the devotees. Then after the festival was over, we'd go back to join with Govinda Maharaj in Kolkata. So I always feel like I'm being sent somewhere. If I go somewhere and it's in representation of Srila Govinda Maharaj, and I feel like he's sending me there. Because the places I'm going, I know he wanted the devotees to visit these places, whether I'm going to China. If I'm going to China, then I also feel that Govinda Maharaj liked that the preaching would go on in China. So I go there. Sometimes I get, different messages from the devotees online from China. And they ask me when I'm coming there and everything like that. Now, that Chinese mission was started by Yudamanyu Seva Vikram, and he lived there for so many years. And I worked with Yudamanyu. And as I said in the past, normally on my own, I would not have thought to go to China. I would have had some, I wouldn't say trepidation, but I would have thought, well, to go to China, you can't go as a devotee, you can't go dressed as a devotee either. And I thought, well, that's a good place for Yudamanyu and others who can go there, working as, so to speak, working in normal clothes. They have their job to do. He was a teacher in the school system and everything like that. So I thought, well, that's a good position. But I was thinking normally as a sannyasi that I didn't so much occur to me to go there. But then Yudamanyu, he was very insistent that I go there. And I said, he called me, and it was like around March or something, and he said, you can come here. And then I thought, oh, well. Then he insisted, and I said, okay, I'll try to make it there in September. But then Sanatani called me, and she's very insistent. No, you have to go there immediately. Okay, I'll go there immediately. So I went there. And I was very happy that I did go there immediately. And I went to Chongqing. I met with the devotees. And
what year was that, Mark?
What?
What year was that the first time?
I don't know. Maybe, what is it now? Maybe 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know exactly.
2011.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't know how many years now I have my passport, and every 10 years, have to renew my passport. So I've had this passport maybe 5 years or so, and not, my visas were in the previous passport. So I don't know how many years before it was, maybe 7, 8 years at least. I was going there. And I was happy being in China, because the devotees were very, you've seen some of the devotees from China. They visited here. We've had Ananda came here, and Sundari came here, and Sita came here, and Pandita came here. They all came from China. So they're wonderful people, and they have, above all, they were so affectionate and well trained and have so much appreciation for Srila Govinda Maharaj and for Sri Yudamanyu Seva Vikram. Of course, for Srila Govinda Maharaj also. But they were very, especially, had so much appreciation and affection, love for Yudamanyu. And I would say that he's really like their guru. He gave them shelter. He was there all the time. So when they left, and Srila Govinda Maharaj was very happy with Yudamanyu, with the preaching going on in China. So when Yudamanyu left, one feels that they want some shelter. And actually they're very affectionate towards Hashapriya Prabhu, because he would go there every year and visit Yudamanyu. So they know Hashapriya very well, and they have love for him. And then I go there also, and so I feel very inspired. So, there's a place that I wouldn't normally have thought of just going on my own. I would have had a little foreboding that I'm going into China, but it's actually like one of the few. There's certain frontiers that are remaining, and China is one of them. Maybe another where we don't have yet, as our mission, at least the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt mission, we don't have so much presence also in Korea. So that will be a good place also to go. I'm talking about South Korea. And not, but, Seoul and all that. But this is our life. Our life is preaching. So what is preaching? Preaching means actually to give persons the holy name, to spread the chanting of the holy name. But there's some requirement for that. The only requirement is some desire on the part of the recipient to get that holy name. And then getting the holy name, everything good will happen for a person. Once one receiving the holy name, because really, when one takes initiation, it's not about getting a spiritual name. It's about receiving the holy name. Everyone, one can get a spiritual name. One can baptize himself or herself and give oneself a spiritual name. One can go to the registry and change their name officially from John Doe can change person's name to Janma Vijay.
How do you come up with the names?
How do I come up with a name?
How does a person get their name? But do they choose it themselves, or does somebody else choose it for them? Or?
The spiritual master chooses it for them.
Okay.
At the time of initiation, they get a name. What is your name?
My name's Brian.
Brian.
Brian. Okay.
How did you get that name?
It was given to me.
What?
It was given to me.
By your parents? Yeah. So they chose your name.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how you come up with it.
Yeah. Well.
New name.
Divine inspiration.
Yeah. Like one's parents, they could have given they could have given you the name Brian, or they could have given you the name John, or they could have given you the name Paul or Bob, or
It's a pretty common name.
Yeah, but they could have given you an exotic name too. They could have given you a
Do you
name.
reuse the same name in different people, or?
Not generally not. I generally try to give one person a name. But sometimes it happens where we have, that our devotees will choose a name for their son and daughter, or sometimes they'll call and ask, Gurudev, you please give me a name for my son or daughter, and then that one name will be given, and that name may already be existing in our community. So we may have more than one Vaidehi. We may have two Vaidehis, or we may have even three of one name. It doesn't matter. It's like that. And sometimes people would say to Govinda Maharaj, he would choose a name, give it to a person. They'd say, what does my name mean? And he says, I don't ask you what the name Timothy means, or I don't ask you what the name Paul means, then why are you asking me what this spiritual name means? Of course it has a meaning, but Govinda Maharaj's point is that you're receiving a spiritual name. You're not necessarily going to analyze that name with a dictionary and see, like my name, Janardhan. So if I sometimes in some places it says the friend of the town or the friend of the people. So I was thinking, oh, okay. And then I was looking up you can get confused in the dictionary. So I looked it up and I was seeing in the dictionary, what does it mean? And as far as I could tell, I read Jana, people, and Ardhan, one who disturbs people. So then I asked Govinda Maharaj, is this the meaning of the name Janardhan, one who disturbs people? And he says, well, in one sense, yes, but actually a little more than that. What does it mean? You could say disturbs people, and he says, but actually means one who eats people. So I said, what? And he says, you think of the aspect of the Lord that is eating people. What is that? Time. Time is eating everyone. But I'll think of it in the more sense of a friend of the people. But how is time eating people? Well, in Arjuna, when he's in the battle of Kurukshetra, he wants to see Krishna's universal form. And that's the Virat Rupa. It's not a spiritual form per se, but it's a showing of the whole cosmic creation is contained within the person of the Lord. He's the creator of the heavens and all the different planets and everything in this universe. So Arjuna could see that. But Arjuna was previously thinking that this battle was very, very terrible, and if I could just leave this battlefield and go away, I could even live as a beggar or as a renunciant. It would be much better to do that than to engage in this ghastly warfare. This is very terrible. So, but when he saw the universal form, he saw all the soldiers, both on his side, the Pandava side, and on the other side, the Kuru side. He could see all of them were being chewed within the teeth of the universal form. And then the Lord told him, Arjuna, if you think that by leaving the battlefield, if you think that by renouncing this warfare, that any of these soldiers would be saved, he says, nobody is going home. Nobody is going home. And then Arjuna was thinking, oh, my Lord is very determined. He's very determined. So the idea is that everything, and then Arjuna said, who are you? And then the Lord responded, time I am. And really time is the destroyer of all worlds, of everything. Time eventually wears down everything. And sometimes in a very subtle way. You can see along the coast, you can see great rock formations that are all etched and worn away by just the movements of the tide. And that's not a very strong force, it's just a force of moving water. But over the repetition of so much time, that movement of the water wears away stone. You know? So normally, what would you think? Yeah, if you're a big, powerful rock, more powerful than, what's the name of that rock they call? The rock? Huh? The actor, what's his name?
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson. He's called the Rock. He's the big, strong rock, very, muscular and everything. And you could think, why would somebody like the Rock be afraid of a little bit of water, a few drops of water? But we see that the tide's coming in, the tide's going out, the tide's coming, and some big rock can think, I'm a very strong rock, and this water is very soft. It's just some water. Why should I be concerned about that? No, but you don't know that over centuries and centuries, with just the water coming in and the water coming out, coming in and going out, then lines will be etched into your surface. And we can see that. I saw what do they have? Pictures. They have the cliffs of Dover, and you can see all the different movements, that these layers were formed by the presence of the tides and everything. So, that everything is happening in a very subtle yet dominant way by the movement of time. And we say that time is, normally we think of things sometimes in three-dimensional X, Y, Z coordinates. So X means this place on these coordinates, you can pinpoint it. But if you add in the element of time, that all becomes changed. X, Y, Z coordinates, but at a particular time, and another time, nothing is there. Something is not there. So, like that.
How can one live beyond time?
Well, first of all, we can say the potential for living beyond time is very pronounced with everybody, because first of all, if I ask, say, well, you're all ringers, you're all professionals, so. But I asked you, what is your name? You're saying Brian. If I asked him, what is his name? Adi Keshava. Then if I say, who are you? Who are you? Then you'll tell me, I'm an American, right? He'll tell me I'm an American. And then he'll tell me he's from somewhere else. And, I'm from Oregon, or I'm from Montana, I'm from Louisiana. But are you really from any of those places? Because you're asking how we can live beyond time. Are you really from any of those places? If I asked you who you are, then, if I asked the devotee, who is he? Who is she? Then I'll say, I'm a jivatma. I'm an eternal soul. So if you're an eternal soul, are you really from America? Or are you really from, Brazil or Russia or etc.? Are you really from those places? You're an eternal soul. Or, the eternal souls, are they from a particular locale? I was reading, in physics they have one theory. What is it? The principle of uncertainty. What is his name? Heidenberg. Yeah. He's saying that you can. What?
You can be both dead or alive. You can, I mean,
No, that's Schrodinger. That's different. That's a different principle. Heisenberg's principle is that you can know someone or something's exact location, but you can't know their you can't know their speed. You can't know their velocity. So you can, if you know the velocity, you can't know the exact location. If you know the location, you can't know the exact velocity. Why is that? Because at the speed of light, everything changes. And really, if we take things into account, we'll see that according to the theory of relativity and everything, we're considering time and all these things, everything is predicated on different variables. Like the movement of an object. We're not fixed in a particular place. So when someone is asking me, how can we live beyond time? Well, first of all, if we understand that we are automatically or really are beyond time because we're eternal souls, and the eternal soul has not any limitation by time or place or circumstances, an eternal soul. And we're in a particular place now, but in the past we weren't in this place, in the future we won't be in this place. Everything is, in that sense, when we're in identification with our material circumstances, our body and everything, then we're bound by the limitations of time. But when we recognize our real existence as eternal souls, then we can say that one is beginning to go beyond the limitations of time and place. So living beyond time means actually coming into the association of devotees and acting according to the principles of something higher. Something higher means beyond the laws of this world, beyond the laws of physics, beyond the laws of birth and death, beyond the laws of karma. Then we're acting, free from time. So but that doesn't mean somebody could say, I don't accept this. You're still going to die. You're still going to grow old. You're still going to become ill. And in response, I would say, yeah, tell me about it. I already know that. I'm already experiencing that. But that's not a limitation that's been imposed. That's a limitation, of course, that I'm living in this world, so, I'm bound by those certain limitations. But I'm really an eternal soul, and I have a relationship with Gurudev. And although Gurudev is not physically present, that relationship will go beyond leaving this body. And that is my hope. That is my great realization or freedom. And it's freedom from time. So, in that sense, I'm not trying to minimize any responsibility that anyone has in this world. You have a family? Sure, you have a responsibility to maintain your family. You have a responsibility to, act as a member of this world. That's fine. And I'm not asking anyone to just, throw away what responsibility one may feel to one's, those persons who have some loving relationship with one. But at the same time, I'm saying that the importance is that you actually understand who you are, what your purpose in life is. And that purpose can be understood. So that's nice that the children are playing in the trees. But you can see that. That's very nice, but I don't necessarily want children to fall out of trees. So. That's just part of being a kid, Trees are there, they're meant for climbing, I guess. And that's a very big tree. It's a strong tree, so it supports some climbing on it. It's an apple tree, big apple tree. So, I mean, if I was their age, I'd be in the tree too. Yeah. So, does that kind of answer you? I mean, does anyone else have a question? So, as I said, Wednesday we have Ashram Mars coming here. We also have Parvat Mars returning here. And any news from anyone else? Any news from Avadut Mars? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then we'll sing Hari Haraya and take prashad. It's a little bit. It's an informal day today because it's as I said, a day when people spend today with their family, right? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Giridhari Gopinatha Varana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinath Varana Mohan
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Parikara Shishi Guru Guranga Chandavika Giridhari Chuki Jai Jayam Vishnu Bhan Vanamansa Parvajaka Ashtadhara Sada Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Bhan Vanamansa Parvajaka Ashtadhara Sada Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Bhan Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Bhan Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jayam Vishnu Bhan Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Bhargava Ki Jai Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhanta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhadada Shravagana Sat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Kramsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Harshivasadi Shri Gaurabhakta Vrindi Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Bhad Vishwavarenya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai All the assembled devotees Ki Jai Shri Sarva Bhavana Prabhu Ki Jai Gaur Premanand Srila Bhakti Bhavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai